All right, goblins and ghouls. Today we're going to be talking about some hauntings and cursed items potentially. We're just going to real quick go through some haunted things and then we'll get to the cursed objects. First on the list that I had was something called Daicanon goggles. This is coming from somebody. They remember reading an article about using the new light vision tech they had at the time. I forget if there was multiple reports, but the story I remember was a gunner in a helicopter flying at night, was wearing the goggles or whatever they were at the time, and just started randomly firing at nothing. He was visibly scared, and when asked what he was shooting at, he said he saw ghosts or apparitions flying around in the air. Some say that the tech let us see into another dimension. The use of that tech was quickly stopped, and now we have the green night vision we use today.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Daicanon goggles is what they call those. And now I'm just going to rattle off a few interesting ghostly stories that have happened. Some of them we've I think even talked about on the pod, but or skirted over. Like this first one I think we've skirted over a few times. I don't know if we've ever actually gotten into it. Maybe we did, but the Bell Witch was a poltergeist said to haunt the family of John Bell near the town of Adams,
The
Tennessee.
Bell Witch is a great story.
Oh, it's one of the best haunting stories I think of all time in my opinion. The spirit was said to have manifested itself as various animals and a disembodied voice and cited Bible scripture. The Bell Witch partly inspired the Blair Witch Project, and the events of the story were depicted in the film An American Haunting. Such an insane story. The people I think got scratches on their backs. They saw levitating objects. Right? Wasn't that like part of the story?
Sounds right.
There was like a lot of crazy weird shit that was happening with the Bell Witch. So another story. Emily, the ghost of a young girl who supposedly haunts a covered bridge in Stowe, Vermont. The bridge is dubbed Emily's Bridge, and she's said to be seen only at midnight. So if you're ever in Stowe, Vermont, for whatever reason, check out two things. Check out Emily's Bridge, and if I'm not mistaken, well, actually three things. Bigfoot might be over there. And also there's I think a triangle over there where people go missing. Well, maybe don't check that one out. But the other two sound pretty cool. Just watch out. Bigfoot is pretty deadly over in Vermont, apparently, from what I hear. They have like Native American story about a guy that like throws rocks at people in the tree. He's like called the Wild Man or something like that. I forgot what it was. I just read about this the other day. Like some settlers apparently actually like started fighting with him, like a firefight with him, and that ended up being like the Native Americans were like, oh yeah, that guy, yeah, he's around, he's just over here, he does kind of crazy shit, don't worry about him. And then like nobody even realized that it was actually like it could have been a Bigfoot. Like the Native Americans didn't have a Bigfoot, they only had like these wild beasts that they told legends of, so it ended up becoming a thing. No, Bigfoot's not very Halloween, but you know, there's a costume out there. The next one is Oscar Washburn, the ghost of a black goat farmer who allegedly haunts Old Alton Bridge in Copper Canyon, Texas. He is commonly known as the Goat Man, as he is said to appear as a half-human, half-goat-like entity. The bridge
Oh, we've heard of the Goat Man.
The bridge has been nicknamed Goatman's Bridge by locals as a result of the legend.
We know Goat Man.
Yeah, we know Goatman.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Goatman already?
From that popular Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Oh, is it? I don't know about Goatman, to be honest with you. I just thought we talked about him like the cryptid episode.
I think we did.
I think we did. Joe Bush, a legendary ghost that allegedly haunts the Sumter Valley Gold Dredge in Sumter, Oregon. He is said to leave wet, bare footprints on the decks of the dredge and cause lights to flicker and doors to open and close. Joe Bush, one of the Bushes, a legendary ghost. Even in the afterlife, the Bushes are haunting entities.
Joe Bush, legendary ghost. George Bush Sr., legendary ghoul.
That was amazing. The ghost of Resurrection Mary allegedly haunts roads and buildings around Resurrection Cemetery near Justice, Illinois. What kind of crazy names are in Illinois for these places? Resurrection Cemetery, Justice, Illinois. This place sounded like the wildest part of the West back in the day. I'm going to Justice. I'm going to get buried in Resurrection. A suburb of Chicago. That was I didn't finish that part, but yeah, it's a suburb of Chicago, so it must still be the Wild West. The ghost of Queen Esther, ghost of an Iroquois woman who allegedly mourns the massacre of her village in Pennsylvania. That's wild. And then this one just says ghost of the American Civil War. I think what we can get from that is a lot of battlefields and different like crazy areas all
Yeah.
throughout the the United States has ghosts in the different like Gettysburg, right? That's the famous one. Isn't there a lot of ghosts in Gettysburg?
I would assume.
Yeah. Well, I've heard there's been like a lot of ghostly shit in Gettysburg. I think I heard wasn't Fort Sumter actually just on this? I've heard of Fort Sumter having like ghosts and shit.
Well, we did talk about that new cryptid that starts out as like a Civil War apparition.
That's what I was thinking too, is that and that was right next to a battlefield as well. For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, we talked about that on day 4 or day 3. I'm sorry, whatever one is the headlines episode. We talked about that on that episode, and it's a very interesting story. You hear like genuine terror.
The host loves to hear genuine terror.
The Greenbrier Ghost. Alleged ghost of a young woman in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. In a court trial, the woman's mother claimed that her daughter's ghost told her she had been murdered. Fun. Kate Morgan, a ghost which is said to haunt the Hotel del Coronado in Coronado, California. It's a great name. I feel like I've heard of that one, the Hotel del Coronado. Minnie Quay, a legendary ghost of Michigan. I don't like that name. Old Book is the name given to a ghost or spirit which allegedly haunts a cemetery at Peoria State Hospital in Bartonville, Illinois. Why is it all these old like Midwest places? Why are these Midwest places just filled with ghosts?
Unfinished business.
Yeah, because when I say old, they're not even that old, these places. Some of them are popped up in like the 1800s. Interesting. Pedro Benedict Horitiner, a colonial governor of Florida, allegedly encounters with his ghosts have been reported there. Where? It doesn't say where. It just says his name.
The town?
Maybe Horitiner? I thought that was his name. Anyways, I guess wherever he lived, you can probably encounter his ghost, or whatever halls he stalked. President Abraham Lincoln's ghost has been reported in the White House numerous times, many of those by the prominent people such as Theodore Roosevelt, First Lady Grace Coolidge, Queen Wilhelma of the Netherlands, and Winston Churchill. That's pretty interesting that all these different people claim to have seen Abraham Lincoln's ghost in the White House. That's
I
crazy.
could imagine Winston Churchill making that up.
I can imagine that too, but Theodore Roosevelt, I don't think would make that up.
Yeah,
Out of
you're
everybody on this list, I would believe Theodore Roosevelt being like, yeah, I saw a ghost of Abe Lincoln. I'm not trying to like make a pun right now, but this is the only way I can put it. Teddy Roosevelt was like out of all the presidents, he was the most like straight shooter type president. The dude was very wild in the best way. Like he didn't take bullshit lightly at all. Anyways, Teddy Roosevelt, cool dude.
Really cool dude.
Yeah. The Red Lady of Huntington College is a ghost believed to haunt the former Pratt Hall dormitory at Huntington College in Montgomery, Alabama. The Ridgeway Ghost of Wisconsin folklore is believed to terrorize people along a 25-mile stretch of old mining road. And Slag Pile Annie. What a terrible name for a ghost.
Slag Pile Annie.
Slag Pile Annie. A ghost said to appear as an elderly woman working in a remote and hard-to-access location, former Jones and Laughlin Steel Corporation mill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She was said working in a remote and hard-to-access location. So the only people that see this ghost, they're just like in the worst places possible of this place. Then we got the Wizard Clip. Was a ghost said to have clipped articles of clothing and visitors' hair at a home in Middleway, West Virginia, after a Catholic traveler died there in 1794 without receiving any last rites. Whoa. I feel like that one is a magical being, no?
I think it's weird that like is that like God doing that? Why would they become some weird like they didn't get last rites, they became a ghost?
I don't know.
Why would God do that?
What's the deal with your last rites? If you don't get your last rites, you don't get into heaven. Is that what the deal with it is?
Most people aren't getting their last rites.
Is that what it is though? Is that what the gist is?
I don't know. Well, it says like
Is it like a reverse baptism?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see what else we got. All it says is vanishing hitchhikers, which that's just a common one. Everybody knows I think every town has a vanishing hitchhiker, right? Everybody's got a vanishing hitchhiker. Here's one that we could have put in other ones, but we can put them in this if you're into it. If not, we can just make this a totally separate episode if you want, because
What?
there's a lot. Most haunted cemeteries.
Hit us with that.
All right, first up on the list. This is coming from Reddit. Make my mind free to go on high strangeness, the most haunted cemeteries. The London Highgate Cemetery. One of London's most haunted cemeteries, this spooky, mysterious graveyard, also known as the City of the Dead, was once the most fashionable place in London to be buried in Victorian times. Sadly, it crumbled into neglect following the Second World War and was a desolate spot stretching over many acres. The many magnificent tombs and memorials became a truly gothic sight with twisted branches and ivy curling their way around the ruins. That's cool. Stories abounded of terrifying creatures with glowing eyes, frightening local residents and anyone brave enough to walk by the gates at night. Various ghosts and entities have been cited, including a vampire, a man in a top hat, bells ringing in the disused chapel, and a shrouded figure, and a demented old woman, long gray hair, to name a few. What is this, Red Dead Redemption? Those are literally like all characters from creepy Red Dead stories. Due to the restoration efforts of the Friends of Highgate Cemetery, the place is looking quite well these days, with the ghostly sightings decreasing significantly in numbers. That sounds like they just basically, gentrified the ghosts, so they kicked them out.
Hot take.
This is definitely one of our favorite haunted cemeteries. Visit at your peril. ... Oh, and here's one that we just talked about. Resurrection Cemetery in Chicago, USA. One of the better known haunted cemeteries. Where to begin at this truly creepy location? So many specters. The most famous ghost has to be Resurrection Mary, and we didn't really get into her, so that's good that they're going to talk about her. Also known as Bloody Mary Smith. She is a young girl thought to have been murdered on Archer Avenue and has been spotted in one form or another over the last 90 years. Always dressed in black and usually asking for a lift to the cemetery. Whether just conversing with her or giving her a lift, she vanishes into thin air. That's wild. I never thought about that. You give a lift to, like, a ride to somebody and then they just turn out to be a ghost. Like, that must be
Never
a
heard of
wild
that?
experience. No, I have heard of that. I'm saying, like, I never thought of that, like, ever happening to me. Like, I've
Really?
never related to that. Like, the thought of that just sounds frightening.
Yeah.
There are many other ghosts inhabiting this graveyard, all of them happy to interact with mourners and join in the ceremonies. Many EVPs have also been captured here, with names and conversations clearly being heard when there is no one around. There is reputed to be a vampire buried in Resurrection who starts scratching his coffin when the sun sets. Not a place to go to on your own. Well, that's scary. Glasnevin Cemetery in Dublin, Ireland. Ooh, Ireland. So this is probably going to have some creepy shit. One of Ireland's best-known haunted cemeteries, this huge cemetery, also known as Prospect Cemetery, dates from around the middle of the 1800s and is resident to many of Ireland's famous citizens, including Michael Collins, Eamon de Valera, and Brenda Behan and Constance Markowicz. There are nearly 1.5 million burial sites here, including the sad and very eerie Little Angels children's plot, thought to contain over 50,000 children and babies. That's crazy. One of the best-known apparitions is that of the Newfoundland dog, who often appears at the grave of John McNeil Boyd. After Boyd drowned, the dog refused to leave his owner's grave and slowly starved to death. This dedicated pet is seen waiting faithfully at his grave. That's kind of sad, because that means that even in the afterlife, he's waiting, so that means he didn't get to join up with him eventually.
Yeah, that's sad.
Other encounters include glowing figures and the sounds of children playing. This is one of the largest haunted cemeteries in the world. If you visit, just be sure you know the way out. Greyfriars Cemetery, Edinburgh, Scotland. This is possibly the most famous dangerous location on our list and one of my favorite haunted cemeteries. Greyfriars Cemetery dates from the 17th century and has had hundreds of reports of violent poltergeist activity, apparitions, cold spots, laughter, and most disturbingly, visitors becoming extremely ill and falling unconscious. It has also had its fair share of body snatchers, live burials, dark magic rituals, and was used as the Covenanters' prison at one point. The spirit of the poltergeist is believed to be that of George Mackenzie, who prosecuted the Covenanters in Edinburgh. He has his own tomb in Greyfriars alongside the many Covenanters who were sentenced to death by him. Visitors were affected so badly by the violent paranormal activity, which included objects being thrown and people being bruised and cut, that the area is now being chained off and inaccessible. One of the more benign characters of the cemetery is Greyfriars Bobby, the ghost of a lovable terrier who stayed at his master's grave for 14 years until his own death in 1872.
Sounds familiar.
It does. Only leaving to eat meals outside a nearby restaurant. This is a very frightening place. That one wasn't as familiar though because the other dog just starved to death. That one actually like went out and ate and chilled. Maybe the nearby restaurant was like, hey, we don't want this dog to end up like that Newfoundland one, and he's a little smaller, so let's feed him a little bit.
That'd be very nice. Let's hope.
Let's hope.
We gotta find a cursed mask, man.
All right. This is a list of allegedly cursed objects. The Anguished Man, a painting of an abstract figure believed to cause bad luck. There's a little bit more. Apparently, the Anguished Man, this is just something I know, but apparently it was made by a guy who put his own blood into the painting, if I'm not mistaken, and he ended up like committing suicide shortly after he made the painting, and it's very horrifying. I'm probably gonna throw it up on the screen for like a second because it's pretty horrifying. It's like you look at it, it's up there for like 2 straight minutes. You're just staring at this awful, god-awful, horrifying face. The Bassano vase, 15th century silver vase. Those who own it is said to die shortly after. Fun.
Damn.
Yeah. It's always a vase. Why do people give so much shits about vases, you know? I guess it's a 15th century silver vase, so that you know, vase, whatever you want to call it. Vase, vase, tomato, tomato. Next up, Busby's stoop chair. Description, a wooden chair. It's said to have been cursed by murderer Thomas Busby, with wartime deaths and fatal accidents linked to it. Crazy. Black Orlov, an Indian diamond, said to bring an unshakable curse to anyone who carries it. That's a fun one. I love when it's jewelry. I don't know why, but I'm fascinated when cursed objects are a part of jewelry because it makes the most sense to me that jewelry would be cursed, but it also seems it's so like movie level shit when jewelry's cursed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that. It's like an old amulet or talisman gets cursed and you have to, you know, it's just cool shit. The Black Orlov, an Indian diamond, said to bring unshakable curse to anyone who carries it. Black Prince's Ruby, a gemstone, said to bring bad luck and early death to its owners. Like, why would you ever wear these things if you hear about all the crazy shit to do with them? I don't want to be another statistic with cursed objects. If I'm ever getting a hold of a cursed object, you can best believe that I'm dropping it quick.
Well, cursed objects, though they are cursed, they hold power.
So you're saying a lot of the people that have these cursed objects can also use them to their benefit?
Yes.
I never thought about that, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. Yeah, no, that's a pretty cool that's like a pretty cool what do you call it? Observation.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I always think of the world in terms of like an Ed, Edd and Eddie episode. So like, you remember when there's that telephone that rings? It was Rolf's telephone, and then anyone who answers it ends up getting like fucked up, and it ends up being like Eddie most of the episode that gets fucked up because everyone else answers it and it's targeting Eddie specifically.
I don't remember.
Oh, dude, it's probably one of my favorite episodes of Ed, Edd and Eddie, and that was one of my favorite shows like growing up. The next one is a painting called The Crying Boy, painted by Giovanni Bragolin. I guess he wasn't Bragolin when he finished painting, you know, because it was cursed. So why would he brag?
Yeah.
Thought to be linked to fires and houses that display prints of the painting. That's crazy. I gotta check to make sure that I don't have any prints of this painting. The Conjured Chest, a 19th century chest of drawers, said to have caused the death of 18 people who stored their clothes in it. Yo, that's crazy. That sounds like the best horror movie. Like, that's like a terrible horror movie is about a haunted chest. It just kills people that use it. It's like that
It's kind of like
haunted
Narnia.
bed. Well, it's like there's also deathbed, the bed that eats. Like that's kind of like that. Death
Never
Chest.
heard of that.
Oh, it's like a 70s movie or whatever that came out in the 2000s. It's on the Grindhouse episode. People will hear it when we get to it. You know what this also reminds me of? If it's like a chest like I'm thinking of, like, like Skyrim and shit. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons when you open up a chest and you don't know if it's gonna kill you or give you some shit. Here's another jewelry one, the Delhi Purple Sapphire. Amethyst thought to have been looted during the Indian Mutiny of 1857, said to bring bad luck, including the loss of a professional singer's voice. What? That one's crazy. Some professional singer lost his voice because of this thing. The Dybbuk box, antique wine cabinet.
The Dybbuk box.
The Dybbuk, is that what it's called?
Look it up. That's just like a type of thing. That's like a. There's not just one of those.
The Dybbuk box or Dybbuk box is an antique wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by Dybbuk, a concept from Jewish mythology. The box drew attention when it was auctioned off on eBay by owner Kevin Manis, who created a story featuring Jewish Holocaust survivors and paranormal claims as part of his eBay item description. Manis' story was the inspiration for the 2012 horror film The Possession. Uh-oh. In 2021, Manis told Input Magazine that the Dybbuk box story was entirely fictional, so we don't even got to worry about this.
What?
Yep, we got
Well, I
the
thought
answer
Dybbuk
on that one.
boxes are just like a concept. Like he didn't come up with it. Like I've seen people online post videos of themselves opening Dybbuk box. It's like a Jewish myth, I think.
Oh, so it's actually like an actual common thing. It's not just like this one instance
That's
of
what
this
I'm
guy.
saying.
Yeah. It seems all right. So it's just a thing in general.
Yeah,
All right. So apparently there's Dybbuk boxes out there and they're haunted.
that's cool.
Yeah. All right. Next one is the Gold of Tolosa, a Roman treasure hoard said to bring misfortune to those who stole it and their defeat in battle. Another painting. Apparently, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of paintings and a lot of jewelry. Those are the two things that I found the most. I feel like, other than like random miscellaneous items, I feel like jewelry and paintings are the two things that, end up being like the most cursed. I wonder why that is. So, well, I understand the jewelry angle because we were talking about that earlier. I'm wondering if the reason why a painting can be cursed is because of the amount of work and emotion and spiritual energy someone puts into like a piece of artwork like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a part of the craft, no pun intended. All right. This one is called The Hands Resist Him, a painting by Bill Stoneham and said to cause nightmares. Well, that's simple enough. All right, next one is the Hope Diamond. Now, here's a little fun fact about the Hope Diamond. If anybody doesn't know this, it's pretty interesting, I think. If anybody's a fan of GTA 4 or the Grand Theft Auto series in general, this is actually, I think, how I found out about the Hope Diamond. Either that or History Channel, one of the two. Same difference. In GTA 4, there's this story about a diamond that they're going and trying to get. I think Nico, the main character of GTA, ends up like breaking into a museum, and they end up like having to fight out like their way out with like these diamonds and shit. Well, this diamond in GTA was actually based on the Hope Diamond, and the reason why it was based on it was just because one, it's a beautiful diamond, and two, it's just caused so much misfortune. Actually, this is the reason why I built this list, was because of this item, actually, in particular. Maybe I should just read it real quick. It has been famed for its great size and blue-violet color since the 17th century. It was extracted in the 17th century from the Kolar mine in Andhra Pradesh, India. The gemstone's exceptional size has revealed new information about the formation of diamonds. The Hope Diamond's recorded history begins in 1666 when the French gem merchant Jean-Baptiste Tavernier purchased a raw Golconda stone in India. After cutting the gem and renaming it the French Blue, Tavernier sold it to King Louis XIV of France in 1668. It was stolen in 1792, received and recut with the diamond appearing under the Hope name in an 1839 gem catalog from the Hope banking family, from whom the diamond's name derives. Let's go over the unfortunate. Oh, it looks like it's just the in general history is going over the luck and bad luck of it. In 1678, King Louis XIV commissioned the court jeweler Jean Patou to recut the Tavernier blue, resulting in a 67 125 stone, which royal inventories thereafter listed as the blue diamond of the crown of France. Later English-speaking historians have simply called it the French blue. The king had the stone set on a cravat pin. According to one report, Louis ordered Patou to make him a piece to remember, and Patou worked on it for 2 years, resulting in a triangular-shaped 69-carat gem the size of a pigeon's egg that took the breath away as it snared in the light, reflecting it back in bluish-gray rays. It was set in gold and was supported by a ribbon for the neck, which was worn by the king during ceremonies. In 1749, King Louis's great-grandson, Louis XV, had the French blue set into a more elaborate jeweled pendant for the Order of the Golden Fleece by court jeweler André Jacquemin. The assembled piece included a red spinel of 107 carats shaped as a dragon breathing covetous flames, as well as 83 red painted diamonds and 112 yellow painted diamonds to suggest a fleece shape. This thing sounds fucking beautiful, like in this fleece look. But yeah, the piece fell into disuse after the death of Louis XV, probably because of the diamond. Diamond became the property of his grandson, Louis XVI. Man, these guys are really bad at names. Whose wife, Queen Marie Antoinette, used many of the French crown jewels for personal adornment by having the individual gems placed in new settings and combinations. Now, we all know what happened to Marie Antoinette, and we all know what happened to King Louis XVI. A lot of crazy shit. And supposedly she ended up as a ghost in Versailles. So that's something to think about, is that maybe this gemstone creates ghosts of people. And I'm pretty sure the King Louis, all those guys were ghosts too. But on September 11th, 1792, while Louis the 16th and his family were imprisoned in the Square du Temple during the early stages of the French Revolution's reign of terror, a group of thieves broke into the royal storehouse, the Hôtel du Garde, and Meuble de la Couronne, now the Hôtel de la Marine. Well, that's way easier. Stealing most of the crown jewels in a 5-day looting spree. While many jewels were later recovered, including other pieces of the Order of the Golden Fleece, the French blue was not among them, and it disappeared from history. That's pretty crazy. And then it just comes back in like some random like famous families like catalog and shit.
And it's cursed?
Yeah. Well, apparently a lot of people, like some people like attribute the French Revolution to them having this, like there's a lot of like crazy shit. The idea that it got like taken and then the French Revolution happened right afterwards, and a lot of stuff. Henry Philippe Hope died in 1839, the same year as the publication of his collection catalog. That's funny. When Hope died on December 4th, 1862, his wife, Annie Adele, inherited the gem, but she feared that the profligate lifestyle of her son-in-law might cause him to sell the Hope properties. Upon Adele's death in 1884, the Entry Hope estate, including the Hope diamond, was entrusted to Henrietta's younger son, Henry Francis Pelham Clinton. On the condition that he add the name of Hope to his own surnames when he reached the age of legal majority. As Lord Francis Hope, the grandson received his legacy in 1887. However, he had only a life interest in his inheritance, meaning that he could not sell any part of it without court permission. In 1894, Lord Francis Hope met the American concert hall singer May Yohe, who's been described as the sensation of 2 continents. That's funny. And they were married the same year. One account suggests that Yohe wore the Hope diamond on at least one occasion. She later claimed that she had worn it at social gatherings that had an exact replica made for her performances, but her husband claimed otherwise. Lord Francis lived beyond his means and is eventually caught up with him, leading to marriage troubles and financial reverses, and he found that he had to sell the diamond. In 1896, his bankruptcy was discharged, but as he could not sell the Hope diamond without the court's permission, he was supported financially by his wife during these intervening years. In 1901, the financial situation had changed, and after a long legal fight, he was given permission to sell the Hope diamond by an order of the Master in Chancery to pay off debts. Quote, but May Yohe ran off with a gentleman friend named Putnam Strong, who was the son of the former mayor of New York City, Mayor William L. Strong. That's funny. Francis Hope and May Yohe were divorced in 1902. Francis sold the diamond for £29,000 $3.98 million today. To Adolph Whale, a London jewel merchant. Whale sold the stone in 1901 to the diamond dealer Simon Frankel, based in New York and/or London, who took it to New York. One report stated that he had paid $250,000, $9.4 million today. However, in New York, it was evaluated to be worth $141,000, $5 million today. Accounts vary of what happened to the diamond during the years 1902 to 07. One account suggested that it lay in William and Theodore's safe, and during these years, while the jewelers took it out periodically to show it to wealthy Americans, a rival account probably invented to help the add mystery to the diamond story suggests that some persons had bought it but apparently sold it back to Frank L. That almost sounds like Uncut Gems a little bit.
I've never seen that.
It's a pretty good movie. A basketball player, I forgot his name. It was Kevin Garnett. So Kevin Garnett is and he I think he plays himself, and he basically gets the stone loaned to him from Adam Sandler's character, who's like really deep in like gambling debts and shit like that. And like the whole movie, it's basically like it's a lucky stone that ends up like giving them a lot of luck, but it ends up not really paying off in the end. Or it does. You got to watch the movie to find out. But yeah, so apparently this diamond just keeps ending up in nefarious means and ends up bankrupting people and leading to awful things happening in their lives and around them. So that's pretty cool.
Where can I get my hands on it?
I don't know. I wonder where it is now. I think, it's in the Smithsonian. You know what's funny? Is the Smithsonian, if you think about it, is almost like a gigantic Ed and Lorraine Warren safe house.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so much shit that's in the Smithsonian that's probably cursed. It's probably crazy. I wonder, dude, that would probably be one of the coolest jobs ever, to work in, like, the Smithsonian, like backlot, like the underground area where they keep all their shit.
It's like Warehouse 13.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to see all, like, the ghostly shit that's probably down there would be crazy. All right. Here's another one that also, when I was making this list, this was really one that I was thinking about a lot. We don't really have to dwell on it much, but it's definitely interesting because a lot of interesting shit's happened around this. James Dean's car, called Little Bastard, it was a Porsche 550, said to have caught fire years after Dean died in it, and to have caused another car that reused one of its parts to crash. I forgot who he actually said to James Dean before he even drove it. He said, that car will kill you. He said something like there's something about it that's evil, he said. That's a real thing. That he actually said that. It's kind of crazy that they, somebody called that. Koh-i-Noor, an Indian diamond said to bring bad luck if worn by a man. No good. This is actually one of my favorite of all the cursed objects and cursed paintings. I think I may have shown this one to you, but if not, I want to show it to you either way because it looks really cool. It's called it's out of all of these, it's my favorite of the cursed paintings, definitely. It's called Man Proposes, God Disposes. And if you look at it, it is one of the creepiest, like most haunting paintings ever. It was painted by Edwin Landseer. But it's not even creepy so much as there's just something primal and natural about it that seems very like off-putting. Like if you were alone out somewhere, you wouldn't feel like this is a haunted painting. You would feel like this is reality and this could happen. Man proposes, God disposes. Cool painting though, right?
Yeah, I would love to own that.
Yeah, that's a cool one. That was definitely my paintings.
All these cursed objects are calling to.
All these oh wait, while you're on there, check out this one right here. This is the Anguished Man, just so you can have context of the one from earlier. Do you see it?
I've seen that one before.
That one is so haunting that I don't like to look at it. It's literally like that. I feel like uncomfortable looking at it. That's why I'm gonna probably put it up for literally like seconds. So Man Proposes, God Disposes, reputed to cause students in the university room that displays it to fail exams or to be driven to suicide. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It might just also be because, that university room is a really hard class, but who am I to say? If you have like that kind of painting in your university class, then that's just hardcore. So we got the Muramasa swords made by 16th century Japanese swordsmith. thought to lead to misfortune. This one I kind of want to read about because if it's a haunted sword, that must be
Dude,
like
now we're talking about powerful cursed objects.
the exact origin of the Muramasa school is unknown.
It's a series of blades that were probably made by Muramasa or like whoever, like nobody knows exactly where they come from, but it's a certain type of blade.
Yep. In pop culture, Muramasa swords have been often depicted as cursed swords with demonic powers. Oscar Arati and Adele Westbrook said that Muramasa was a most skillful smith, but a violent and ill-balanced mind verging on madness. That was supposed to have passed into his blades. They were popularly believed to hunger for blood and to impel their warrior to commit murder or suicide. It has also been told that once drawn, a Muramasa blade has to draw blood before it can return to its scabbard, even to the point forcing its wielder to wound himself or commit suicide. Thus, it is thought of as a demonic cursed blade that creates bloodlust in those who wield it.
Would love to get my hands on one of those. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think that's what Zoro's first swords are based on
Zorro?
in One Piece.
Oh, all right. Maybe. Here's a mummified curse, which, if it's not in here, I think we should talk real quick about King Tut, too.
Yeah.
Otzi the Iceman, a mummified body from 3350 to 3105 BCE. They don't know? Several people connected with its discovery died premature deaths. I mean, that just happens whenever anyone finds a mummy. Don't find mummies. Wood from Petrified Forest National Park. Petrified wood. Removing wood from the park is said to bring bad luck. Wow, that's crazy. Well, why call it Petrified Forest National Park? Call it something else. Maybe that's why. It was a word of power calling it that.
Good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Ring of Silvianus, the 4th century gold ring. After being stolen, the ring was subject of a Roman curse tablet where its owner said that the family of its thief should permit no good health until it is returned. I wonder where it is now. It's a 4th century ring. That's wild. Robert, a doll. We've heard about Robert. I'm gonna skirt over this one because I don't like haunted doll stories, and they are creepy and they're weird, but it's just they're so like redundant. Said to cause I guess all of these are kind of redundant in a way, but like I don't know. Every time I hear about like a haunted doll, maybe it's because of Annabelle, I always just like, okay. You know what I mean?
I think it's because we don't like dolls.
Maybe. Yeah. But I find all these other things creepy as well. But I just don't, I think a cloth doll is just a stupid thing. But maybe.
Actually, because think about it, like haunted sword, awesome.
Yeah, that's badass.
Exact. Haunted doll, it's like, dude, just get rid of that doll. Why do you have a doll?
Just burn it.
Burn it.
Said to cause accidents and misfortunes, those who fail to respect it. Oh God, I just failed to respect it.
Yeah, I can't believe you did that.
I just fucked myself up, dude. Oh my God. I literally did the thing that you're not supposed to do. Ugh. That's good. I got this obsidian. Oh no, I don't even have it in my pocket anymore. Fuck.
Think obsidian's gonna help you?
I don't know. Robert, I'm sorry. You're all right. You're cool. You're cool. Hey, you know what though? I'll say this about Robert. Robert gets my respect as being way cooler than Annabelle. Fuck Annabelle. Robert's the shit. Robert's cool. Annabelle is like whatever. Annabelle, and no offense to Annabelle, it's just the movie ruined it for me. So if anything, if Annabelle's pissed about me saying this, then take it up with the movie producers and the Conjuring producers. I'm not in charge of that. You know, I didn't put that mess in the movie theater. It's not you, Annabelle. It's really not. It's the movies. I'm sorry.
Dude, you're so scared of dolls.
I am now.
Wow.
The Regent Diamond, 17th century Indian diamond, believed to be connected to violence and murder, with monarchs who owned it being dethroned through execution or exile. Oof, don't want that diamond. Rudolph Valentino's ring. Ooh, this is one that I wrote down. The jeweled ring, said to have led to the early death of many owners, including Valentino. Poor Valentino. The stones from Gettysburg battlefield. Remnants of stone walls said to bring bad luck if removed from the park. That's wild. That makes so much sense though. Like out of everything on here, like that one genuinely I'm like, okay, I get that. I don't know. That's crazy though. The Terracotta Army. So that's from the if anyone's seen the Mummy movie that neither
It's not from the Mummy.
wasn't there the Terracotta Army in the Mummy? I was
Probably,
referencing
but
it.
it's not from the Mummy.
I'm just saying, like, if anybody's seen that, you know what we're talking about. It's those stone dudes that are in, that attack. They're stoned. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're all stoned.
It's like a strange bunch of statues.
Yeah, they're all stone men.
Dude, just stop. Stop disrespecting them.
I'm not disrespecting anybody. The Terracotta Army's
You're gonna get
cool.
yourself cursed.
Hey, I'm not trying to curse myself. I'm not trying to curse anybody. I'm trying to let the curses just do their thing.
Oh, too late.
Don't say that. But even by speaking all this, you could
You
curse
better
me.
hope that Robert bought that back pedal.
Hey, that back pedal was beautiful and heartfelt, and it totally was meaningful and well intentioned. It came from the heart. Next up on the list is the tomb of Tutankhamun, the Egyptian burial site, said to have brought deaths and misfortunes to those connected to the 1922 excavation. Press at the time falsely reported that a curse was inscribed in the tomb. Oh yeah. Woman from Lem, a limestone statue dating from 3500 BCE, said to bring death to its owners. Fun. All right. What else? Blood rain. This isn't exactly something that's a haunting. This to me is one of the most fascinating things that I've read about, especially recently, is blood rain. The occurrences of blood rain throughout history are distributed from ancient to the modern day. The earliest literary references is in Homer's Iliad, in which Zeus twice caused the rain of blood, on one occasion to warn of slaughter in a battle. The same portent occurs in the work of the poet Hesiod. Writing around 700 BC, the author of John Talloch suggests the Hesiod story may have been influenced by that recorded in the Iliad. The first century Greek biographer Plutarch also recounts a tradition of a rain of blood during the reign of Romulus, founder of Rome. Roman authors Livy and Pliny record some later cases of blood rain, and with Livy describing it as a bad portent. Like a bad omen, basically. Is that what that means?
I believe so.
Unusual events such as a rain of blood were considered bad omens in antiquity, I guess so. And this belief persisted through the Middle Ages and well into the modern period. Throughout Northern and Western Europe, there are many cases of rains of blood which were used by contemporary writers to augur bad events. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle records there was a bloody rain in Britain, and milk and butter were turned to blood, and Lothair, king of Kent, died. Tatlock suggests that although the Chronicle was written long after the events, it may have basis in historical truth. He notes that although the rain may seem to be foreshadowing the death of Lothair, medieval chroniclers often noted unusual occurrences in their works, merely for their general interest. Gregory of Tours records that in 582 in the territory of Paris, there rained real blood from the clouds falling upon the garments of many men. Many, many, many men. Many, many men who were so stained and spotted that they stripped themselves of their own clothing in horror. Although the work of Geoffrey of Monmouth, a 12th century writer who popularized the legend of King Arthur, is regarded as fantastical rather than reliable, he too notes the occurrence of blood rain in the reign of Rivallo. This event was further expanded on by Laomon in his poem Brut, written around 1190, who described how blood rain was one of the several portents in which itself led to destruction. In the same time here came a strange token, such as before never came, nor never hitherto since. From heaven here came a marvelous flood. 3 days it rained blood. 3 days and 3 nights. That was exceeding great harm. When the rain was gone, here came another token anon. Here came black flies, and flew in men's eyes, in their mouth, in their nose. Their lives went all to destruction. Such multitude of flies here was what they ate the corn and the grass. Woe was all the folk that dwell in the land. Thereafter came such a mortality that few here remained alive. Afterward here came an evil hap, that King Roald died. Cool. Many works which record instances of blood rain, such as that of Laomon, were written significantly after the event was supposed to have taken place. The 14th century monk Ralph Higden, in his work, the Paul Chronicon, recounts that in 787 there was a rain of blood, perhaps intended by the author as an indication of the coming Viking invasion. Written in the 12th century, the Book of Leinster records many sensational events, including showers of silver. It records a shower of blood in 868. In the work of William Newburgh, a rain of blood proves the drive and determination of Richard the Lionheart. According to William Newburgh, a contemporary chronicler, in May 1198, Richard and laborers working on the castle were drenched in a, quote, rain of blood. While some of his advisors thought the rain was an evil omen, Richard was undeterred. The king was not moved by this slacken one whit the pace of work, in which he took such keen pleasure that, unless I am mistaken, even if an angel had descended from heaven to urge its abandonment, he would have been roundly cursed. William of Newburgh. In Germany, a shower of blood was of several importance to the arrival of the Black Death in 1348 to 1349. The phenomenon gained exposure to a wide audience in the 16th century during the Renaissance, when it was used as an example of the power of God. A form of literature used prodigies such as blood rain as cautions against immorality proliferated across Europe, having originated in Italy. In Germany, such works were particularly popular among Protestants, although unusual events such as rains of blood were still treated with superstition, often as demonstrations of godly power. Nicolas Claude Fabry de Peyrassec was one of the few who proposed natural causes. After hearing of a bloody rain in Aix-en-Provence, he suggested it was caused by butterflies. Although his theory would later be rejected, he helped the likes of Pierre Gassendi and René-Antoine Fréchal de Remoir to lay the foundations for removing superstition from explanations of the phenomenon. One of the first scientists who correctly explained this phenomenon was Giuseppe Maria Giovanni. From 1753 to 1837, blood rain fell on Apulia on the 7th of March 1803, and it was then believed that the rain was caused by the explosion of Italy's volcanoes, Mount Vesuvius or Etna, or that it was due to the transport of matter coming from the seafloor and raised by vapor. To me, it sounds like an iron thing, but what do I know? Giuseppe Maria Giovanni related the phenomenon to the wind which occurred prior to the rain event, and he came to the conclusion that the sand came from Africa and that had been pushed by the wind coming from the direction southeast. In Europe, there were fewer than 30 recorded cases altogether of blood rain in the 13th, 14th, and 15th centuries. There were 190 instances across the 16th and 17th century, and there was a decline in the 17th century when only 43 were recorded. Just 43? Come on. But this picked up again with 146 in the 19th century. There is little literature on the subject of blood rain, although it has gained attention of some naturalists. So it looks like it actually might be due to some sort of microalgae, which also makes sense too. But who knows? It could just be blood rain. And if anybody's seen the movie Nope, then blood rain might not be good either.